The biggest question people face before starting any print-on-demand business is always, what product should I sell? And depending on the product you choose, this could either determine the success or failure of your business. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 4 most profitable products in print-on-demand, and hopefully this will help you in making your decision. And these products aren't going to be listed in any sort of order, so the first one isn't going to be the best, and the last one isn't going to be the worst. But as we do progress through each product throughout this video, I will be marking them against 5 different key criteria that we're looking for. This way you can actually make your own decision as to which product is best for you, for your own circumstances, and what you want out of your print-on-demand product. Because while each product is highly profitable, they each have their own pros and cons. So I think this will be the best way of comparing them, as it's not just me and my biased opinion trying to tell you which ones are better than others, but instead you can come to your own conclusions based on the criteria in this video. So kicking things off, we're going to start with clothing items, and in particular, we're going to be talking about t-shirts, hoodies, and sweatshirts. And while this may be an obvious choice for people when thinking of print on demand, it's for good reason. Because no matter how generic and boring you think these products are, in my opinion, they are a better option than 95% of other print on demand products. And this is because no matter how many t-shirts, hoodies, or sweatshirts a customer already owns, it's almost guaranteed that they are going to buy more and more throughout their lifetime. And this leads me to my first key criteria point that we will be considering, which is demand and product life cycle. And what this essentially means is, are customers engaged in buying this product? And if so, how often are they making a purchase? And when you think about it, clothing items like t-shirts are something we fundamentally have to wear to be accepted in society, making it a product that we need to own. But it's also very much a want product as well, seeing as we have to wear things like t-shirts on a daily basis. We generally want to look good and portray ourselves through the clothing items that we wear. And this makes for a perfect combination, because bringing the needs and the wants of a customer into one product makes for an effortless purchase. And it also helps that t-shirts are a very small item to store, meaning one person can easily own 50 t-shirts already, but buying another isn't going to make much of a difference in terms of storage space, making it one less thing to worry about when they do make a purchase. So I would consider these products to be of high demand due to its nature of us needing and wanting these products at the same time. And it also has a fast life cycle, which means the frequency and time between purchases made by one customer is generally quite quick. So for demand and product life cycle, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. But for the next key criteria point that I want to talk about is going to be the perceived value of the product. Because generally, we all have a rough idea as to how much things should cost, or at least what we'd expect them to cost. And this is sometimes what can help make some products more profitable than others. And this is because we may have a rough idea of how much a product may cost at face value, but we don't always know how much that product actually costs the person who is selling it to us. And for clothing items, I think it's safe to say that most people have a good gauge of what a typical t-shirt would cost, and we generally know when one is cheap or expensive. So for perceived value, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, but there still is the potential to increase the perceived value of your t-shirts by perhaps offering some really unique designs or proving that the quality of your t-shirts is better than others. But now moving on to the third key criteria point that I want us to consider, which is market saturation. And by this, I mean how many other people or businesses are selling this product, which will then determine how high the competition is. And I think this point is very much linked with demand, because when you have higher demand, naturally we're going to see higher levels of supply as a result. But when it comes to clothing items like t-shirts, hoodies, and sweatshirts, it's always been an obvious choice for people to sell, and especially on Etsy, which may even make supply a lot higher than demand. So I think it's fair to say that the market saturation for these products is generally going to be higher than others. So for market saturation, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. But now the fourth key criteria point, which is going to be quality and durability, because when selling anything online, a key part of it is the period after purchase and seeing how well the product will actually hold up. And this point can help us predict whether a product is going to get good or bad reviews. Because if the quality and durability of your product is poor, how do you think the customers are going to react? And I know I personally wouldn't leave a good review for a product that I wasn't happy with. But when it comes to t-shirts, hoodies, and sweatshirts, I think they get a relatively safe pass, as we generally know we only have a certain amount of wears before we start to notice things like color fading and the print deteriorating. So as long as you're not using an extremely cheap print-on-demand supplier where everything fades after just one wash, then you should be okay. So for quality and durability, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. And now the last key criteria point, which is going to be market trends. And by this, I mean how well can a product actually accommodate new design trends? And if it can, are people actually going to purchase it? And I think t-shirts are perfect examples of how this works best. Because if a new trend came out tomorrow about a funny quote from a character in a new TV series, then within 24 hours you could create a new design, put it up on your t-shirt mockups, and then upload it to Etsy. And it's very likely that people will be interested in buying this product, as they may find it funny to buy a t-shirt with this trend on it. So for market trends, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Now moving on to the next product, which is wall art, and this will include things like posters, metal signs, framed prints, and canvases. And this product can be a great option for people who want to create very unique or niche designs. Because as compared to other products where you may have to create designs that actually suit that specific product type, wall art products allows you to work with a literal blank canvas where anything can look good. But anyway, starting on our first key criteria point again, which is demand and product lifecycle. And typically, wall art products do have a normal level of demand, but they do happen to have a slower product lifecycle. Because once a customer purchases a framed print for the purpose of hanging it on an empty wall within their home, it's very unlikely that they will feel the need to replace it within a few months or even years. And as compared to t-shirts, customers are somewhat capped on the amount of wall art products they can actually buy, seeing as they only have so many empty walls within their home that they can fill. So for demand and product lifecycle, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. But the next key criteria point, which is perceived value, is where wall art really begins to come through. Because as compared to most other common consumer items, artwork and wall art products has always been something that we can't quite put a face value price on, which is why some paintings sell for millions of dollars and more, and then some will sell for less than $10. It's all very abstract and subjective, and this all makes for a great product to sell, as there's no reason you can't go ahead and sell a framed print for $200 and upwards, while it only costs you $30. So for perceived value, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. But now the third criteria point, which is market saturation, and this is one that has picked up in recent years. Because when print on demand first became popular, the main go-to products were things like clothing items, mugs, and stickers. But as of recent years, wall art has been becoming one of the more well-known print-on-demand products. So more and more people have been entering the market trying to sell their designs on things like posters, framed prints, canvases, and metal signs. Although I will say this, these products are generally harder to sell, as it's definitely a bigger commitment and a bigger purchase for a customer to make, which means the sellers with low quality designs and those who don't make many sales are more likely to give up as compared to other sellers who are trying to sell other product types. So for market saturation, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. And for the fourth criteria point, which is quality and durability, this is going to be a very quick one to score. And the reason for this is, assuming that your wall art product reaches your customer without any damages inflicted from shipping and transit, that product isn't going to just deteriorate and lose its quality whilst hanging on a wall in someone's home. So as long as that product is treated as it should be, there's no reason why it won't last a very long time. So for quality and durability, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. And lastly, moving on to the fifth key criteria, market trends, I think it's safe to say that, again, wall art is going to be another prime example of a product that can easily incorporate and accommodate new trending designs. And let's say that someone went to watch the Formula 1 in Las Vegas and wanted something to remember that event, then a poster would be a great choice. So for consumer trends, I'm going to give that a 5 out of 5 as well. But now moving on to our third product, which is going to be rugs and doormats. And this may sound like an odd one, but it's a product that most people tend to look past without giving any consideration. And I get it, because the idea of printing your designs onto a rug or a doormat doesn't sound all too convincing, especially when you think of the quality of the finished product. But I honestly think you'll be surprised at how good these products can be if sourced from the right print-on-demand supplier. And this isn't me promoting Printify and saying they're the best, but I've personally seen the area rugs and doormats from them, and the quality is really good for a print-on-demand product. And when we take a look into the trends over the past 20 years of people searching for rugs and doormats, it looks like a product that is continually growing and gaining more and more popularity. But moving on and starting on our first key criteria point, which is going to be demand and product lifecycle. And I hate to say it, but I think this may be one that actually brings this product type down. And this is because the demand for home decor rugs and doormats is more so on the lower levels, meaning less people and customers are looking to buy some form of rug or doormat as compared to other product types like t-shirts. But for those who do buy a rug or doormat, generally the product life cycle is quite long, because it's not something people typically replace that often unless the product starts to show signs of wear. So for demand and product life cycle, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. But now for the second key criteria point, which is perceived value. I think this is where this product type does well. And this is because, again, similar to wall art, we generally don't buy rugs or doormats all too often. So when we do, our idea of how much that product should cost is really anyone's guess. And this allows you to push up your prices on your rugs or doormats to sales amounts that make it highly profitable. So for perceived value, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. But now for the third key criteria point, which is market saturation, which is another good one for this product type. Because as I mentioned earlier, most people tend to look past this product when thinking of things to sell in print on demand, which actually makes it beneficial for those who do choose this product to sell on Etsy. Because with less competition from new sellers, your percentage of market share can then be quite high, especially if you create a store with hundreds or if not thousands of listings. So for market saturation, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. And now for the fourth key criteria point, which is going to be quality and durability, and this should be an easy one to score. Seeing as rugs and doormats are generally being trampled on and worn away on a daily basis, it makes it hard for even the most high quality of rugs and doormats to be long lasting and have a high durability. So with that being said, for quality and durability, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. But now lastly, moving on to the fifth criteria point, which is market trends. And I think it is possible to accommodate certain design trends that might make sense on a rug. So something like a funny viral quote that could go onto a doormat or a rug in a games room. But for the most part, I don't think it has the same appeal for people who may be looking into a specific trend to buy a rug over something like a poster or a t-shirt. So for consumer trends, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. And now for the fourth and final product, which is going to be tote bags. And before I mention anything else, just take a look at the current popularity in searches for tote bags and how in the past year or two, this product has seen its highest peak from the past 20 years. And I bet that 99% of people who are looking to sell some form of print-on-demand product are looking into these same trends and are more than likely looking past tote bags. And this leads me perfectly into our first key criteria point, which is demand and product lifecycle. Because having just shown a clear indication for high demand, what is the product lifecycle like? Well, typically the target audience and consumers of tote bags are females, and they're more likely to replace and swap out their accessories or styles more often. So I would say the life cycle of this product is anywhere from weeks or to months. And I would say that this product makes for good recurring purchases as well. So with both these points in mind, I'm going to give demand and product life cycle a 4 out of 5. But now for the second key criteria point, which is perceived value. And this is where tote bags may begin to fall short. And this is because most people have an idea as to how much a tote bag should cost, and if they don't, it's not something people would imagine costing any more than $30. So for perceived value, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. And now moving on to the third key criteria point, which is market saturation. And this is one that may surprise people, but the competition and saturation on Etsy for tote bags isn't actually as bad as most people might think. Because after doing a search on Etsy for tote bags, I was shown just over 1 million listings, but then doing another search on Etsy for mugs, I was shown just under 3.5 million listings. And this just goes to show the amount of listings that you're going to have to compete against when you compare these two different products. So for market saturation, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. But now for the fourth key criteria point, which is quality and durability. And I think it's safe to say that tote bags are a really simple product and this should be easy to score. And that's because tote bags aren't exactly a high quality product, but neither are they a low quality product. And its durability can be long lasting, assuming the customer doesn't load it up with excessive items and weight. So with that said, for quality and durability, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. And now for the final and fifth key criteria, which is market trends. And I think tote bags are a great product type that can accommodate new design trends really well. And this is because of the blank canvas that it offers, making it easy to work with and to create new designs as of when you need to jump on these new trends. So for consumer trends, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Now that is going to conclude this video on the 4 most profitable products in print on demand, and here on the screen now you will see the complete tally of all criteria points for each product type. And again, this video was made so you can make your own choice and decision as to which product type is best for you based on the points that I've mentioned. So hopefully this video has helped you in coming to your final decision, but if it hasn't, then please feel free to leave your questions down below in the comments and I will try my best to respond as quickly as I can. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please make sure to drop this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, bye for now, peace.